Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is the latest Manchester United news and transfer news as we go from Jong to Ronaldo to Anthony to Gakpo to Casemiro and a hell of a lot more. And I'm sure you will have a lot to say as well. But something a little bit different tonight, I suppose, because whilst we can talk about Anthony and Ajax have had their Champions League draw, we've got our Europa League draw tomorrow, boo-hoo. There is a story about Anthony. Well, it's not a story. The Ajax coach has been speaking quite frankly about how he doesn't expect Anthony to leave. But that's not going to be our feature story because that might be a big story on a normal night. But we've got more fresher and interesting topics to delve into, I suppose, when we talk about sport. Sport saying that De Jong is open to a Manchester United move. Sky giving another update on De Jong, and this Ronaldo to Sporting story, which sort of weirdly, we'll start off with Cristiano Ronaldo, I suppose. So 5 o'clock tonight, I'm on That's Football. Some of you might have been there. We're doing a Champions League live draw. Manchester United obviously not in it. And we're just waiting for the draw to start at about 5:10. And this story comes out from Court Offside website that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to join Sporting Lisbon. And the comments are going off and it's fresh news to me. And I'm like thinking, hold on a minute. This is a bit coincidental. Cristiano Ronaldo wants, Mr. Champions League, all-time top scorer in the Champions League. Champions League draw is just about to happen and story comes out about Cristiano Ronaldo going to Sporting Lisbon who are in the Champions League. And you think, well, again, I'm 50-50 on this. Is this going to happen? So you come off the show, you make a couple of, you send a few messages and I'll be honest, there seems to be something in this. There's, I think it's Betfair or there's a booking. There's a bookies out there who have got him odds on to go to Sporting Lisbon, and there is a suggestion from certain outlets that this will happen. There is also another. I think it was Jonathan Schrager coming out earlier saying that it's not going to happen. And I mean, look. Jacob, welcome to Members Club. I'll be completely selfish on this. I don't want Cristiano Ronaldo to go. I don't. Saw him in training today. Looks sharp, focused. Varane, Casemiro, Real Madrid connection. Big season ahead. Look, I don't care whether people think he should start or not. Manchester United's squad with Cristiano Ronaldo in it is far better than a squad without Cristiano Ronaldo in it. Now, there are arguments to say that a long-term plan he can't be part of. So, if you're building for the future, building now, there is an advantage. But then again, if you want to be in the Champions League, maybe having Ronaldo, surely having Ronaldo makes us stronger and more likely to score goals. David doesn't trust Court Offside website, fine. But Sky Bet is saying it as well. Look, all I'm going to say here is, and I'll give you my opinion, I think there's something in this. But there's contrasting opinion. And I'm the sort of person that's not going to disrespect either opinion. I'll just cast my opinion on it. And look, Sporting Lisbon, I think, are in Eintracht Frankfurt and Spurs group. Cristiano Ronaldo, if he goes to Sporting Lisbon, can be scoring goals in the Premier League in a few weeks' time, adding to his record, playing in the Champions League. Or he can be playing Thursday night football in the Europa League. He's clearly not happy at United, for good reason. A lot of it to do with the Glazers. I don't know where I sit on this. I mean, imagine if it is true, what do I think? I don't want him to go. Selfishly, I don't want him to go. I think, Ronaldo is a legend of the club and he's still one of the best strikers in the world. I do not want him to go. But if he wants to go, I sort of think, well, I don't blame him. I don't blame him because the way we've handled things since he came back, and not just this summer, but last summer as well, the whole season, it's been shambolic. And at 37 years of age, he'll be 38 in February, going and playing Champions League football for Sporting Lisbon, where on a Saturday he's playing in the Portuguese league, which will keep him fit, but focus on the Champions League. Sporting are not a bad side either, so I'd watch him play for Sporting. If he goes to Sporting and plays Spurs, I'll do a watch along for that. I love Ronaldo, so people will go, oh, Ronaldo fanboy. I've just said if he leaves and goes and plays for Sporting, I'm happy for him. We won't have him anymore, even though I want him to stay. So I'm at that place now where I think a lot of United fans are with Ronaldo, where if he stays, I'm really happy. But if he goes to Sporting and that's what he wants to do, then I'm happy for him as well. and we'll just have to crack on without him. So I'm quite relaxed on the Ronaldo situation now. What do I think is going to happen, I suppose? Well, look, I think there is something in this Sporting Lisbon story. But more importantly, I still think there's, whether it's Sporting Lisbon or somebody else, I still think there's an opportunity that Ronaldo will go. There's still a week left of this window. In a week's time, it will be more or less closing, won't it? So I still think there's a chance he'll go somewhere. I'm so 50-50 on this. I can't really say what I think is going to happen. I don't like sitting on the fence. Do I think he'll be a United player? No, I suppose. I don't think he'll be a United player in September. I hope he is, but I'm starting to feel that he probably won't. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a downgrade from the Premier League to the Portuguese League, says Major. Well, it is, but I suppose when you look at it, is he going to win the Premier League with Manchester United again? No. Is he going to win the Champions League with Manchester United again? No. Is he better off at Manchester United than Sporting Lisbon? You could argue at his stage of his career, probably not. You could probably argue that Sporting Lisbon will be in the Champions League this year and next year, and he'll probably score 10 more goals in the Champions League, whereas at United he won't score any goals in the Champions League. So I hope he stays, but I can see why it could happen. Having said that, financially I don't know how they'd work that out, Sporting Lisbon. And I personally felt that he'd stay another year at United, then go to Sporting Lisbon. So, we'll have to wait and see. Would be hilarious if it's a loan move for Sporting. Kidding. Hope Ronaldo stays. He did say that he wasn't going to go weeks ago. Cheers, Mark, says Alonso. Sporting couldn't afford his abs, let alone his left foot. Surely this is nonsense. De Jong for the deadline day drama. Glazes out, says David. Anything in De Jong to Liverpool doesn't seem like a Klopp move. He emphasises patience. We're going to talk about this next, Chris. And we should dip into next summer's budget to get De Jong and Antony in this window. Club would definitely reap the benefits in the next few days, says Neil. Well, look, that's the latest on Ronaldo. We'll have to wait and see. I certainly think there's something in the Sporting story. Some people are flatly refusing to say it's true, saying it's not true. Some people are saying it is true. So we will find out in the next few hours, won't we? Because it's meant to be, if it's going to happen, be happening in the next, was it 24 hours or something like that? So we'll wait and see. He's always said he'll retire at Sporting, to be fair, says Dan. And is there any club other than Sporting that actually want him? Maybe that's why he's considering it, says Peter Whittington. There are clubs that want Ronaldo. Just a lot of them can't afford it. Hi Mark, love the content. Happy to finally be a member. Are there any other players you'd like to bring to United, says Jacob. And absolute scenes if Sporting dropped to Europa to face United, says Nitin. Yeah. Add to his legacy, I suppose. I don't know. I look forward to the Cristiano Ronaldo interview, really. It's Brimsey as a member. That reminds me, actually. Let me just do this. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so let's do 20. We're going to talk about De Jong now, by the way. We're going to talk about De Jong. I've been meaning to do this for a couple of weeks, and I just haven't done it. So I normally do 10, but I'm just going to do 20. So I've just gifted 20 memberships to you there. Well done if you got one. Remember, if you are a member, you will now have a badge next to your name, and you'll be able to check out our exclusive content that we do each week as well. So there you go. It gives it randomly, so I don't know how it will do it, but you're welcome. Thank you. So let's move on to Frenkie de Jong. We'll see what happens with Ronaldo. So Frenkie de Jong, this afternoon, 3 o'clock maybe, UK time, story comes out from Sport that Frenkie de Jong is now open to a move with Manchester United and is talking to Manchester United. I would say from the very start, Sport have said everything over the summer. We are getting him, we're not getting him. He hates Manchester, he's going to Chelsea, he's going to Bayern, he's going to Nasser, he's going to work with Elon Musk. We've had absolutely everything about Frenkie de Jong from Sport. So Sport saying that Manchester United are now going to get de Jong doesn't mean we're going to get de Jong. And nobody else has backed this story up. So all I would say, and I think I said it on the 2 o'clock show, when it comes to Frenkie de Jong, until the transfer window is closed, I won't believe that it's over, because he is priority A for Erik ten Hag, and we know we agreed a fee with Barcelona. So that deal, never say never. If he goes, we really need to call out the Glazers and board, says Rory. It's truly embarrassing for United fans if Ronaldo leaves. If Ronaldo leaves, we need Antony and Gakpo. We're going to talk about Gakpo in a minute, Bryce, actually. And if we were to pull off the De Jong deal and Antony and get a backup keeper, how would you rate this window, says Mal. Well, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, actually. I think you raise a good point there, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we also had a story about Liverpool going in for Frankie de Jong. Now, before I'll do the Liverpool bit, and then I'll tell you where I think Man United are on this, because Sky Sports have spoken about Frankie de Jong as well tonight. So, in relation to Liverpool's interest in Frankie de Jong, I would say this with total and utter conviction. There is nobody credible talking about Liverpool signing Frankie de Jong. Would Frankie de Jong be a good signing for Liverpool? Yes, he would. Is anybody credible linking Frankie de Jong to Liverpool? No. And more importantly, I think, on this, and I think it needs to be said, more importantly, how on earth are Liverpool going to play Frankie de Jong 350 grand a week? Because that's what we've offered. So that's what he's on at Barcelona. And if Liverpool said to Frankie de Jong, we'll only give you 200 grand a week, he could stay at Barcelona on that, because that's the pay cut they want him to take anyway. So Liverpool Frankie de Jong is complete and utter nonsense. Unless they've suddenly found the way of smashing their own transfer budget and wages, it just won't happen. So Frankie de Jong, Liverpool, no. Manchester United and Frankie de Jong is an interesting one. Hi Mark, I just got a starter pack for Sneak. I hope you use the code SneakBridge Leroy. Thank you very much. Now, what have Sky said about Frankie de Jong this evening? So Sky Sports chef, is it? He's basically said that with regards to Frankie de Jong, and I wrote it down to try and get this absolutely spot on. There was an update on Sky, and basically they said this. They said that Manchester United, if they sign Anthony, it's not financially viable to buy Frankie de Jong as well. Welcome to the Members Club Sydney. So if United sign Anthony, which we fully expect, and we'll update you on that in a minute, if Manchester United sign Anthony, it's not financially viable for them to buy Frankie de Jong as well. Never say never, though. So that's the update from Sky tonight. Also, there was a story about Gakpo saying that it's unlikely that they'll get both Gakpo and Anthony, but it's not impossible. Ansaf, welcome to Members Club, and welcome Mark as well. Just want to make sure I've caught up here. I think I have. And also welcome to Andre. So what does that mean? What does that put us at? We'll find out what's going to happen with Ronaldo in the next 24 hours. I personally think he probably will leave, but hopefully he'll stay. I'm sick of de Jong, says MM. Anthony will cost us 155 million. Scrap them and bring in Milinkovic, Savic, Ziyech, Mitrovic and Sasa with 155 million. These four will help us a lot, says MM. But of course, what you think, MM, and what I think is very, very different to what Erik ten Hag thinks, isn't it? So Erik ten Hag ultimately is the man who counts the most. So yeah, I think with Frankie de Jong, it is interesting. As I say, I think until we get to the end of the transfer window, we'll know neither way. The fact that Sky are saying that it's not financially viable to buy Frankie de Jong if we get Anthony, the first thing I thought about this was, and I don't know what you lot thought, was this. If we're not buying Frankie de Jong because it's not financially viable. I pause purposely because Frankie de Jong is the deal we put other deals off for. Make this make sense to me, right? Man United in June, people are saying do the Anthony deal now because the price is going to go up. No, we're focusing on Frankie de Jong. We then go for Anthony at the end of the transfer window, overpay massively and say, but we can't afford Frankie de Jong now. What sort of circus are we running? We don't get Anthony for cheap in June because we're focusing on Frankie de Jong all summer. And then at the end of the transfer window, when Frankie de Jong becomes available, we've gone and spent 90 million. I mean, this is basically what I read that Sky article is. Frankie de Jong may well be available in the last few days of the transfer window, but United can't afford him because they've spent it all on Anthony, who they could have got cheaper in June and still got Frankie de Jong. So I don't know. I don't get how United have played this summer transfer window. I don't get it. And it's probably just pure spin and bullshit. But we know, as a viewing United fan base, that we've spent all summer fixated on Frankie de Jong and that he's Erik ten Hag's number one signing and that we agreed a fee with Barcelona. If Frankie de Jong becomes available in the next week, I don't see how we can't do that deal. Now, that's the key words here. I don't believe that if we sign Anthony, we won't sign Frankie de Jong, because he is the player that Erik ten Hag wants above all else. And if he suddenly becomes available next week, are United going to go, we've got no money left? You've got to find that money, because that's the player Erik ten Hag wants. So the way I read this De Jong situation is, we're probably not going to get him because we've fucked it up. But if he does become available next week, I think we will buy him, because we can't not. You can't do what we've done all summer and then just not bother to get him. And let's not forget, Casemiro is not Frenkie de Jong. Casemiro and Frenkie de Jong would work together very, very well. So I think if Frenkie de Jong becomes available to Manchester United, they have to buy him, and they will buy him. Let's wait and see. I don't know whether he's going to become available or not. Mark, United transfer windows are mentally draining and a mess, says Andy and Bruno. They are. Hope you're doing well. Citizen Z, welcome to Members Club. And I have a feeling that De Jong news is just another spin to not sign Anthony. Take the time and spend nothing, says Gergo. And Andre, welcome to Members Club. Hi Mark, can we sell Maguire, Ronaldo to sign Frenkie de Jong? Cheers, says Cyan. And why all the deals have again stalled? Hearing from Monday regarding Anthony bid, nothing happened. Glazers are just manipulating stories to get dividends, says Sub. And what about Asensio? A bit of 30 million is going in and Ancelotti confirmed he wants to leave. I'm not talking about Asensio, Arco, and that's not just because I don't think it can happen. We bid on an Artovich, so of course we could go for Asensio, but I don't think he's the right sort of player for United. I mean, I don't see why you buy Asensio and Anthony. I mean, they're both left-footed, aren't they? I mean, they both play off the wide right. I don't see why you'd go and do both. So I don't believe the Asensio story, to be honest. But the Anthony update is this, and it is interesting to discuss the Anthony situation, because we do have a bit of a story on this. So in relation to Ronaldo, let's see what happens in the next 24 hours. And don't forget, Erik ten Hag is being interviewed at lunchtime tomorrow, so I'm sure he'll get asked about Ronaldo and Sporting. So we should have an update on that by tomorrow lunchtime. In relation to Frenkie de Jong, you can't ask him anything about Frenkie de Jong, because he'll just say, I don't talk about players under contract. But Ronaldo is his player, so we should get an update on that. A midfield trio of Bruno, Eriksen combined with Casemiro and potentially De Jong would be season-changing. Thoughts on Scott playing box-to-box next Casemiro, as I find Scott at CDM a shambles, says it's Primsy. I wouldn't pick McTominay full stop. I don't think he's good enough, but he's definitely not at CDM. Maybe he can improve if he plays box-to-box. On Anthony, I mean, I could read you all the quotes out, but basically there has been an update on Anthony tonight, and it's from the manager of Ajax. And effectively, because Ajax were in the Champions League draw, they've been talking about the Champions League draw. Timber, I mean, he betrayed me on FIFA and he's now betraying me in real life. Timber sat there and basically said, you know, why would basically said, why would a player want to go and play for United and leave Ajax? Well, I don't know whether that's sour grapes or what, because he was going to do it. One game and everyone thinks we're good without Ronaldo. If Ronaldo goes, this lad's coming to lose games and turn against Erik ten Hag, says Skive. And I'm fed up with Frenkie de Jong. Anthony and Lema would be perfect, but I don't see United going for Lema, says Desiree. We won't go for Lema because Ranić recommended Lema, so we just won't do it. It's pure stubbornness. Anthony, Ajax manager, has basically sat there tonight and said, you know, he agreed, why would a player want to go from the Champions League to play for Manchester United in the Europa League? I mean, I think that's the most stupid, bitter comment I've ever heard. Why would a player want to leave Ajax in the Champions League to go and play for Manchester United in the Europa League? Let me think it through. Tripling your wage and playing in the best, most competitive league in the world called the Premier League? Look, the Champions League's good, but the Premier League is the elite league in the world. Oh, can I go and play for Ajax in the group stage of the Champions League and get knocked out? Now, I'm not saying Ajax will get knocked out, but it is so simplistic and stupid to say, oh, surely it's a step down to go from Ajax in the Champions League to Manchester United in the Europa League. Come on, you know, the Premier League is the creme de la creme of club football. That's why he wants to come and play here, and he's openly admitted that. Ajax manager saying what he needs to. To be honest, I think the Glazers will drag this Anthony deal on and then say they were outpriced. Typical, says Dan. So basically, what more important, I don't care about his comments about us being in the Europa League, but what I do care about is he basically said that he doesn't expect him to leave. He's assuming that he's going to stay, and you know, that's the manager of Ajax saying that. Does that make me think this deal won't happen? Like I said it on Twitter this afternoon, and Ajax fans can either understand what I'm saying or they can get their knickers in a twist. Since when did Ajax become Borussia Dortmund? You will never get offered this money again for Anthony. We are offering you £80 million. Not 80 million euros, £80 million. Nobody will give you £80 million for Antony. He cannot be worth that amount of money. Even if he wins Eredivisie Player of the Year and you get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, he's still not an £80 million player. There is a ceiling to what Antony can be worth playing for Ajax, and 80 million is way above that ceiling. You will never get offered that sort of money again because he's not worth that sort of money. So if Ajax are thinking of turning down £80 million for Antony when he's not worth that or anywhere near it, and then they're going to turn that down and keep a player that's going to be effing fuming and doesn't want to be there, as I say again, since when did Ajax become Borussia Dortmund? You are a selling club. You invest, nurture and sell. Invest, nurture and sell. That's what Ajax are. You've been doing it for most of my life. You sell a player to a better club, a bigger club in a bigger league, whether it's, Edwin van der Sar, Patrick Kluivert, Edgar Davids, Juri Litmanen, Donny van der Beek, it doesn't matter. That's what you do. It's what you've always done. You sell, you invest, you nurture, you sell. I don't understand what Ajax are doing here, because you will never get this money again for Antony, and he doesn't want to be there. So you're going to keep an unhappy player and walk away from your biggest payday you'll ever get for him. I can't see how they walk away from it. They might do it. Look, football's weird. This summer's been really weird. They might walk away from it. And in no way am I having a pop at Ajax. They need to look at their own history. This is what you do. You nurture players fantastically well and you sell them, and then you invest and nurture again. Fantastic football club, and that's your identity, and you should be very proud of it. I wish you could win Champions Leagues like I saw you do when I was a kid. But surely this deal happens, is what I'm trying to say. The manager can sit there and say all he likes. I'm sure he said the same thing about Martinez, but I don't think Ajax are stupid. I think Edwin van der Sar is not stupid, and I think that they will look at it and go, look, most important, maybe they've got a decision to make if the player wants to stay for Ajax, but he desperately wants to leave. He's on strike. He refuses to play for them, and he's told them absolutely categorically, I want to leave, I don't want to stay. And on top of that, you're getting 80 million. I mean, really, we should be getting him cheap. When a player forces their way out of a club, you normally get them at a reduced price. We're giving them a ridiculously good price. So I'm not really bothered about what the manager says, if I'm honest, about Ajax, because I just do not see the logic of them keeping him. That doesn't mean they won't. I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely coming to Manchester United because, as I've said many a time, I'm not the director of football, I'm not the CEO, and it's not down to me. But my prediction is that he will become a Manchester United player. And as I said at 2 o'clock, this is because Ajax are trying to sort out a replacement, and that's why there's a delay. He's not going to play on Saturday, is he? So I think this deal will happen. I don't think it's going to happen before Southampton. I think it will happen early next week. And we have seen this happen again. And I agree with a few of you in the chat. If we'd signed Antony today, for the next week, we'd be going, who's next? If they sign Antony next Tuesday, oh, we've got a game on Thursday, that's it, window closed. So United might be pacing themselves on this deal on purpose so that it's this deal and then the window's over. Which obviously is contrary to what we were told last Saturday, where we were getting Antony, De Jong, Gakpo, Trapp. Now it'll probably just be Antony. Richard Arnold confirmed Antony tonight outside Old Trafford. I watched the video on TikTok 15 minutes ago. Well, it wasn't tonight, Paul Maguire. And the deal's not done. So Richard Arnold can't confirm anything because it's not done. I don't know what... I know what clip you're on about. I thought he sort of nodded at people. If he's confirmed that deal, we better bloody do it because he's guessing. We haven't confirmed that deal. Ajax have not accepted that deal. I'm sure they will do, but not yet. The young talent from Maccabi Haifa striker Ada is linked to United, meant to be the next Ronaldo, says Solomon. And heard on Sky Sports, Ajax turnover is 125 million a year. The Antony deal has got to happen, says Johnny from Donny. I'm sure we will get Antony in a very high percentage way, but yeah, I'd be stunned if Ajax turned it down, but football's quite weird, isn't it? So that's where we are with Antony. Their manager is still adamant that it won't happen, but I'm pretty sure he said the same thing about Martinez. Antony's deal will ruin our relationship with Ajax, says Danny Esther. I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. I don't see... It might do, but I don't think it will. I think relations will be strained with Ajax. We took their manager, their centre-back and their best winger and they didn't want to sell him. So, but ultimately, when it's settled down and Ajax are winning the Eredivisie and getting through the knockout stage of the Champions League, what have they lost? You've lost the manager, you've lost a few players. We are literally giving Ajax, I was looking at this, we paid £49 million for Martinez. Pounds, £49 million for Martinez. About 15 million overpriced. He's a £34 million centre-back. That's what he is. £49 million for Martinez. £80 million for Anthony. We're giving them £130 million for two players. £130 million for two players. That's God knows what in euros. Well over 150. If I'd said to you at Christmas, we're going to spend 130 million pounds on an Ajax winger and centre-back, you'd have said, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? We've done it, and I want, Martinez looks good, and hopefully Anthony will be good, but I don't think Ajax can fall out with us for giving them stupid money for two of their better players. This sounds like Ajax manager being salty, Ajax torn between keeping the manager happy and getting a payday. Let's be real, keeping Anthony will be worth it only if Ajax wins the Champions League, says Nida. Look, you know how fantastic Ajax are at recruiting, nurturing and developing players. The £130 million that we're giving them, and let's not forget there's another 10 million going to them on the Martinez deal in add-ons, and there's probably another 10 for Anthony. So it's 150 million quid they're probably going to get from United for Martinez and Anthony. 150 million pounds, not euros. Ajax with 150 million pounds can buy a whole new squad, not players, because Ajax buy players for like 5-8 million quid. That 150 million quid will totally buy Ajax the best of everything they want. Daddy, welcome to the Members Club. Will you back my American Glazers out banner over Tampa Bay Stadium on their opening day? Says Stephen. Yes, I will. We should include Ahmad or Palestri in the teal for Anthony. They would be good players for the future of Ajax, says Malik. Given the market, Anthony for 80 million when Gordon is 60 and Isaac is 60 doesn't appear a complete disaster regardless of earlier opportunities, says Prince. I think it is. I think it's ridiculous what we're paying, but that's the price we've got to pay. I think we'll get Anthony, Frankie de Jong and a goalkeeper. Just have a feeling we go for Gakpo only if Ronaldo leaves, as Akshay, which leads nicely into what I want to talk about next. Ajax are fuming that Chelsea are demanding 44 million euros for Ziyech. Happy to screw us, but can't take it back. The manager's comments do worry me though, says Elijah. And given a choice, Frankie de Jong over Anthony. Frankie de Jong is cheap at 72 million. We can go back in for Anthony next summer and get him for 50, says Mark. I mean, I suppose that's an interesting thing. Let's do a poll on that. If we only had money for one, which would you go for? Right now, you've only got money for one. What would you do? You answer it. I'll give you my answer when you've had a bit of time to vote. De Jong, what was that? De Jong, no due to Anthony. Feyenoord forward instead of Anthony. What the fuck is going on? Are we signing any of them? Says Ray. Why would there be a fallout with Ajax? United's incompetence has given them their biggest transfer sales in years, says Stephen. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't see how Ajax can be angry with us when we're chucking them 130 million quid for two players. Bloody hell. I mean, what they can do with that. But the problem they've got, and somebody picked up on it is right, is that Chelsea know we're about to pay big for Ziyech, so they want big money for for Anthony, so they want big money for Ziyech. In relation to Gakpo, the only credible update I've got on Gakpo is the same story we've had for a couple of days. United like Gakpo. Gakpo likes United. He's the backup to Anthony. It's unlikely that we get both, but not impossible. And it still stands to this day. So Gakpo is still there, but is not considered to be likely that we get both. However, I do think if Ronaldo was to go, you'd have to go and get Gakpo. But I don't know how that works financially, because I think 35 million is what they want for Gakpo. We won't get any money for Ronaldo. He might even go on loan. There's no way Sporting Lisbon can afford to give us 10, 15 million for Ronaldo. I know that when Chelsea were interested, and obviously Tuchel said no, but Chelsea did want Ronaldo, there was talk of a transfer fee of 15 million. So, but that's Chelsea, it's not Sporting. So we'd have to find the money for Gakpo as well. I want Timmy Trapp, says Lucas. Oh, poor Timmy Trapp. He's down a well. So 65% of you would take De Jong over Anthony right now if you had to choose between the two. What would I do? I'd probably go with Anthony. I'd probably go with the minority on that one, simply because I look at the squad depth. I look at the season as a whole. And I think 60 games, maybe, if we do well in the Europa League and the Cups, we haven't got enough up front. Like, we've got Sancho and Rashford and Martial and Ronaldo for 3 positions. I know we've got Alanga, but I just don't think Alanga really should be considered as an option as a starter. I just don't think he's ready. And same for Garnacho. So Ronaldo, Martial, Rashford and Sancho is not enough. If you bring Anthony in, that's 5. That helps. But if you don't bring Anthony in, you put De Jong in the midfield. The midfield's got Casemiro, De Jong, Van der Beek, Eriksen, Fred, Bruno, McTominay. It's got 7. So I'd like both De Jong and Anthony. But I think if I had to choose between the two, I'd have to go for Anthony for the balance of the squad because we're weak up front. Be interesting to see what Ten Hag would do. Garnacho instead of Rashford on Saturday, says Joseph. Yeah, it's never going to happen, Joseph, though, is it? Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way, and please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all very welcome. Make sure you subscribe by clicking the button in the button in the bottom right-hand corner. If we lose Ronaldo and only get Anthony, we are in serious trouble. Forget back Gakpo, we will need a striker, and Depay is the one on the market I can think of, says Sean. Yeah, I mean, look, Ronaldo to Memphis, with all due respect to Memphis, it's a huge drop-off. I mean, ideally, Ronaldo will stay. He's a world-class striker, and that's the point. People keep just... You'll learn yourself, basically. If you think, let's sell Ronaldo and bring Gakpo in, I mean, you really are sort of going from Harry Kane to Shea Adams. Like, it's a massive drop-off from Ronaldo to any other mere mortal. He's a absolutely amazing centre-forward, and he delivers goals. That's what he does. This shouldn't be happening in the last week of the transfer window, by the way. I think that's the most important thing. Whatever happens over the next few days, and I'm sure we'll get some excitement, Ronaldo shouldn't be leaving in the last week of the transfer window. Anthony shouldn't be being signed in the last week of the transfer window. And we shouldn't be thinking about a right-back, De Jong, a goalkeeper in the last week of the transfer window. United will cover it up with the fact that they're actually exciting the fan base with signings. But we've played 4 games on Saturday. We'll have played 4 Premier League games and we're still selling our best player, spending 90 million on another player, trying to get this player in, trying to move that player out. It's a shit show shambles. And none of these things should be happening in the last week of the transfer window. They should have all been happening in early July. We're 1 injury away from going back to McFred. Eriksen and Donny can't play as a 6. We desperately need De Jong, says Shahin. We do need 2 midfielders. Many of us have said that. Timber judging Anthony, yet if it wasn't a World Cup year, he would have moved himself. Otherwise, why only sign a 1-year extension, says Glenn. How much do you think Bosman would be worth nowadays, says Johnny from the Donny. Welcome to the Members Club, Carriston. And also, any more news on the Newcastle goalkeeper, says Darren. Dubravka, I think, will happen, Darren. I do think that Dubravka will happen because it's a loan deal, so it doesn't cost us very much and it solves the goalkeeper issue. Sorry if you've already covered this, but will Harry Maguire be United captain again after Monday, says Alfred. Yeah, I mean, I have answered this before, so I'll answer it very, very quickly. When Harry Maguire plays games for United, which he will be captain. When he doesn't play for United, he can't be captain, and that's what will happen. He'll remain the captain, but he won't play all the games, and somebody else will be the captain. But if he plays, he'll be the captain. That's what tends to happen in this sort of thing. It's like Azpilicueta at Chelsea, isn't it? He is the captain, I think, but he doesn't play every game. Dead says, with Ten Hag's stance, Ronaldo, it's not for sale. Do you still think he would go? Look, maybe it's an Ajax thing. Maybe Ajax managers sit there like the current one and says, Martinez isn't for sale, he's not going, and he goes. Anthony's not going, he's not for sale, and he's not going, and he goes. Ten Hag quite publicly has sat there 3 or 4 times and said, over the last 6 weeks, Ronaldo's not for sale, he's part of my plans, I love the player. If he sells him in the last week of the window, I love Erik Ten Hag, but it does make you think, when he speaks about transfers and stuff in the future, do I totally believe him? And maybe it's just a continental European thing, maybe it's an Ajax thing, I don't know. Maybe that's just the way they're taught. You just say they're not for sale, even though they are. So we'll find out in the next week, won't we? How do I contact you regarding the banner and getting help to make it happen? I can't help. Stephen, I can't help you get a banner. Bloody hell, I'm busy enough, mate. I'm not getting you a banner. Bloody hell. I'm not a banner maker. I don't make banners. I thought you said Do you want some promotion about your banner? I can't make your banner. I can't send you a banner. Bloody hell. I can't. I'm being honest, I can't. Can anybody help Stephen with a banner? He wants help to make a banner. I'd be there. If I even have had the time, Stephen, I'd be sellotaping bits of paper together and putting straws on the end as the holding up bit, and I'd be painting it on it. It'd look shit. Mark, what's happening with the Glazer Out protest in England? Well, I don't know about in England, but Stephen wants to make a banner in Tampa. I haven't heard much news since the Liverpool game, says Mojo. On a serious note, I've heard a few people quite irresponsibly saying the Glazer Out movement is over. How disgustingly disrespectful is that, by the way? Spoilt bratism is what I would call it. The Glazer Out thing has gone out. The fire's gone out. Fucking hell. Like, I'm very vocal about Glazers Out at the moment because we've got the thing I've always spoke to you for years about. When we've got a viable buyer, that's the time to get vocal and push it. And that's why, for me, it's really important now, and I'll keep mentioning it. People were protesting at the end of last season at games. That wasn't the first protest on Monday night, and it won't be the last. The Glazer Out movement hasn't gone out because people have stopped saying empty Old Trafford on Twitter. It's so spoilt and petulant to start saying the Glazer Out movement stopped. And that means, you know when somebody tweets the Glazer Out movement's gone out, what they actually mean is I can't be arsed with it anymore. Because if you think it's gone out, what planet are you on? It's not gone out. Tell you what's gone out. Some people have gone out and bought Casemiro shirts today. That's up to them. That doesn't help the cause. The Glazer Out movement's not over. We need to do more. We definitely need to do more. There needs to be better organisation. There needs to be more things done. The Glazer Out movement's not gone. It's not over. And, it might end up with a minority of people doing it, but it's not gone out, and people shouldn't shut up about it. Why not go for Xavi Simons if De Jong isn't available? Brilliant player with tons of talent. Looked excellent yesterday, plus he's young for a rebuild, says it's Primsy. What Eriksen, Bruno, Cameras and De Jong in the midfield? The youth can play in front, says Roger. Mark, have you seen the clip Ronaldo motivating players during the warm-up against Liverpool? Why did the media not cover that, says Gregan? Because it doesn't fit the profile, does it? Why didn't Sky show the replay of David De Gea's world-class save with his foot, which most of you probably haven't seen? He made a save in the second half with his foot that was absolutely world-class. Didn't even show a replay of it. Ronaldo, before the game, was going round hugging Rashford, shaking hands with Sancho, motivating the players. So, yeah, we didn't see that either. The worst thing of the day, by the way, you might have seen the retweet of it. I still can't believe it's true, but apparently it is. When Casemiro came onto the pitch on Monday night, Manchester United put a clip out of it, and they dubbed the sound. There is a genuine clip going out there. Check my Twitter feed. I think I retweeted it. The genuine clip, as Casemiro walks out onto the pitch, is "We want Glazers out. We said we want Glazers out. We want Glazers out. Said we want Glazers out." Apparently, that is the real clip, and the clip that Manchester United Football Club used, they dubbed out that and put a different noise on the top. That's disgusting. That's false. That's false. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's illegal, but if that's gone out on their socials to the worldwide fan base, that's disgusting. Because on a very basic level, it won't be illegal or anything like that. But if it's true, you are lying to your fan base. You are literally manipulating your fan base. You are putting a clip out of Casemiro with fake audio on the top. That's a horrible thing to do. And whoever has agreed to do that and said it's a good idea, well, I'd love to say that they'd be reprimanded and disciplined, but the Glazers run this football club, so they'll probably get a promotion. But that's disgusting if it's true. To edit the audio of a player walking on the pitch, it's there's a word for it. Somebody in the chat will know for it. It's not genuine. It's like photoshopping something. It's like me putting a picture of myself on Instagram tonight with abs. I haven't got abs. The only six-pack I've got is in the fridge. De Jong Hotometer update, says Joshua. I can't put a percentage on it, Joshua, now. I really can't. I'm not out of the deal, but I think United have to do the deal. We'll have to wait and see. Ronaldo posted a United training pick an hour after the caught offside tweet. Hint the sporting rumour is fake, says Shavin. Would you consider going live with us doing a screen share breakdown of our player wages versus the wage of the top six? Now, I asked before, but Glazers out, says Rod Devil. I don't know who you are. Like Ronaldo, he's a club legend, but when the going gets tough, he got going. Wish him the best, but time to go, says Darren. That's just such another. I mean, Darren, a few people think like you like that. I'm not going to get into an argument, but it's a very simplistic point of view when you don't know what's been going on behind the scenes with Ronaldo and the Glazers. Mark, a Twitter removing Glazer out tweets apparently, which is a disgrace if true, says Andy and Bruno. Apparently, I don't know whether that's true, so I don't want to speculate on it. But going back to it's propaganda. That's what it is. If you're editing the audio of clips that you're sending out to millions of United fans, it's pure that's what it is. It's propaganda. You're right. It's propaganda. If you are putting a clip out with fake audio on it, pretending everything's good, that's censorship and it's propaganda. It's not good. It's not a good look for United. It's not a good look, and especially when Alex Neild, who's the fan, many of you might have seen him. Fantastic lad. He's in the wheelchair, and he goes to loads of games. He's absolutely fantastic. And he had a Glazers out banner at the ground, and they confiscated it off him. He's now had an email back from the club saying, "We apologise. We shouldn't have took it off you." So United are just PR disaster, from Arnautovic to De Jong to real things like that. It's just not being run well at the moment, is it? Both Casemiro's clips were fake. He walked out to Heart of Glass by Blondie, says Chris J. I don't know whether that's a joke or not. You know what? I don't know what's fake and what's real, but if they're both fake, both of them are wrong, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. You're working hard. You're working, helping Glazers Out movement. Please work with other YouTubers to promote Glazers Out. It's an humble request. It's bigger than you, me, or us, says Nabil. I'm not. No, Nabil. I'll make a stand on this. The United stand has got 1.5 million subscribers. We're the biggest by a very long way. I'm not making an arrogant statement here. I don't really care about what other YouTubers are doing. And if they want to do stuff, that's great. And I've always been open to working with them anyway. So I don't know what people are talking about. But I'm not going to start doing some sort of Band-Aid YouTuber song about things, because that's not the problem. YouTubing, or whatever you want to call us, is not the divide. The problem is hitting Manchester United Supporters Trust, the 58, the Red Army, the whole fan base. That's what needs to come together. YouTubers getting together and lighting up their lighters and going, yeah, we think that, we think that. That doesn't move the ball forward. What moves the ball forward is everybody together. The worldwide fans, the supporters clubs, everybody. YouTube's a tiny. What about all the websites? Don't think YouTubers are going to get the Glazers out. We are the biggest by a very long way. And as I say, I'm not saying that from an arrogant stance. I'm just saying, I know how big we are. As a community, I'm talking about. We are a tiny drop in the ocean to what needs to be done. Getting a few other YouTubers involved, still a tiny drop. You need the whole fan base together. And, I'm talking supporters clubs around the world. I'm talking, the protesting groups, everything. That's what needs to happen. Love the streams. Couldn't imagine watching United without you calling them all prats. Keep it up, says Dylan. Talking about Casemiro, though, just to bring a bit of lightheartedness stuff. I don't know whether you heard him. He was talking about Fred. And he said a few things. I can't remember what he said. I think he was on about Fred's energy. And I was like, yes. And because Fred could be a really good player with Casemiro. They played together for Brazil. So this could help Fred. And we've seen glimpses of Fred that he can be a good player. We've seen a lot that he's crap. So let's see what happens with Fred. But he did say, Fred, he said something about his energy, his tackling. He mentioned his passing, and I thought, not so sure about that. And then I read the next bit, and he said he's good at shooting. And I thought, Fred's good at shooting. I tell you what, if I was if I was being shot and Fred was the firing squad, I'd be breathing tomorrow. Like, he'd miss. Like, he's not good at shooting, Casemiro. I don't know where maybe he's good in training, but Old Trafford, he's shit at shooting. But hopefully we'll see a good Fred. Hopefully we will. And whether we get De Jong or not, I don't know. But one way or another, he'll be playing in the Europa League, won't he? Because we've seen Barcelona's draw. Barcelona, Bayern, and who was it? Barcelona, Bayern, and Inter. Going to be tough, that. Casemiro embraced Roy Keane, brilliant. And when Ronaldo blanks Carragher, I laughed my arse off, says Johnny from the Donny. If we get De Jong, Gakpo, and Anthony, what would rate the window out of 10, says Dead. So I've been asked about this. I feel that there is nothing that will turn this transfer window into a good one, because Glazers is still in charge. We bid for Arnautovic. We bid for Rabiot. It's just all over the place. And I personally don't think that you can land at a place next Thursday where you go, that was a 10 out of 10 window. Because we lost our opening 2 games because we didn't get business done quick enough. We're bidding for an Artovic and Rabiot. We're leaving it till the last week to buy Casemiro and Anthony. It's been a chaos. I don't think this transfer window can go above a 6. Even if we went and bought 5 world-class players now. It's not about how you get there, it's about the journey sometimes. And a lot of people say it's not about the journey, it's how you get there. But I think in relation to this transfer window, we could have got to where we needed to be 6 weeks ago and we're still not there. So you've got to blame the sat-nav. And the sat-nav is the Glazers and Arnold and Murta. The journey we've taken to get to this point is stupid. And the money we've spent to get to this point is ridiculous. Evening, Mark. Great content again. I'm actually looking forward to the game on Saturday. Me too, Sam. I really am looking for... I mean, look, in relation to tomorrow, well, I'll talk about it tomorrow. Remind me about tomorrow. But I do want to just say this. One of the things I won't move away from, because I don't think we should. RDS, thanks for the super chat. Don't think we should move away from this at all, and we won't, is... Remember, we've said this a lot this summer. And this is what I love about this community because, we're talking to each other every day. And we can set sort of milestones. I wish it was fitness milestones where we could go, this time next month we'll be able to run this or lift this or whatever. But what we did set in May, I sat there quite confidently and I was quite, this is this. I said, I can't do the exact replication of it, but I said, on September the 2nd, we'll know what the net spend is. And I'm telling you now, if it's under 100 million, I'm going to go absolutely mad. Well, weirdly, I've got to own this. I did the maths. 50 million for Martinez, yeah? Pay double for Anthony, but not extra for Frankie, says Sean O'Sullivan. Yeah, we'll get to that. So we spent 50 million on Martinez. Pounds. I'm dealing in pounds, not euros. Just to, I know you have to say that these days. So 50 million pounds we spent on Anthony. The total deal is 58 million, but that's add-ons. So I'm going to go 50 million, yeah? It was actually 48.5. So all right, let's say 48.5. 12 million for Malacia. So that's 60 million on Malacia and on Martinez. 60 million pounds. 60 million for Casemiro. That's 120 million pounds on those 3 players. Anthony's 80 million. 200 million pounds. 200 million pounds. We've sold Pereira for 10. So our net spend is 190. I actually, in a weird way, that's more than I thought we were going to spend. But it's pure incompetence as well, because we've spent 15 million more on Martinez and 30 million more on Anthony. So we've overpaid by about 40 million quid. We also should have sold at least 50 million pounds worth of talent as well. So our net spend is actually going to be about 190, which I don't care about. I'm not going to say well done. We should be spending that amount of money. But if we were anywhere near competent, we'd have saved 40 on savings, which would have took it down to 150, and we'd have sold another 40 million pounds in sales, which would keep it down to 110. So effectively, our net spend is going to be about 190, when really it should be 110 if we bought correctly and sold correctly, which then would have meant we could have got Jong and gone up to 170. So quick maths there, but basically our net spend is going to be 190 million. But if we'd sold 40 million of talent and we'd got Martinez and Anthony for better deals, we'd be down to 110, where we could buy a Gakpo or a De Jong anyway. So sometimes people will be going, well, what are you moaning about? We spent 190. What I'm moaning about is we spent it badly. And people will go, well, I don't care. But you should care. Because if we'd spent it well, we'd have a lot more money left to get more players. 190 million on Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez and Malacia. I'm sorry, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. It's 200 million actually, isn't it? 80 for Anthony, 50 for Martinez, 12 for Malacia and 60 for Casemiro. We've spent 200 million pounds on Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez and Malacia. That's fucking weird. That's way, way overpriced. So therefore, we should have those 4 and Gakpo, or those 4 and De Jong, and still have spent 200 million, is what I'm trying to say. So it's weird how it's gone, because I actually thought I'd be sat here going, the net spend's under 100 million, that's the fucking cheap Glazers. It's gone the wrong way again, hasn't it? We've spent the money, just spent it badly again. It's like the billion over the last 10 years. you know, sometimes you can't complain about the money we've spent. It's just the idiots we get to spend it. I can't believe 200 million on Anthony, Casemiro, Martinez and Malacia. That is just a massive waste of money. Not the players. I like the players. I'm not saying I don't want the players. I think the players are good players and Ten Hag is right to say get them. But the prices we've paid, the director of football and the CEO need sacking. It's ridiculous. And we apparently bought a specialist. Remember in late June, we brought Michael Keane's brother in as a specialist lawyer to help out. He's done a great job, he has. We've overpaid in every deal he's been involved in. If he has been involved. Stephen says, good transfer windows are about having a clear strategy and targets and then getting those targets this summer cannot be seen as good. Well, that's what I wanted to labour the point of there, Stephen. When people say to me, if we get Anthony, what would you give this transfer window out of 10? I won't give it any higher than a 6. Because although I like the players, I still think we're missing another midfielder and another attacker. And I think we could have got those if we'd done this transfer window properly. And all the overpaying and all the mistakes come down to the same thing. We didn't do it properly. If we'd have done all this in June and July, we wouldn't have overpaid and we would have got all the players we want. We're paying the price of panic, desperation in the last 2 weeks of the window. And actually, you know, we were bidding for Rabiot and Arnautovic. How you can go from Rabiot and Arnautovic to Anthony and Casemiro is only for one thing. Because someone wants to buy the club. What are your thoughts on the Depay rumours? If true, do you think he would have a better go this time around? Would he even suit the squad? I like Memphis Depay, Citizen. I just wouldn't do the deal. I don't think it's a good deal. You know, I don't think he set the world on fire at Barcelona. And I don't think it's the right move for him. But, you know, apparently it's fallen through with Juventus. And we are desperate. And one thing I will say, and I will predict this, we will sign a player that's desperate at the end of sometime next week. We'll do a Nagalo, a Cavani or somebody else. And Memphis might be that player. Or it might be somebody else. But I'd be very surprised if we don't do what we normally do. And just do a desperation signing at the end. Which is cheap but expensive wages. So maybe that will happen. Ash says you've been guessing incorrectly all summer. Well, Ash, I haven't though, have I? But ultimately, I'm not the CEO and I'm not the director of football. So I actually bathe in your tears that you actually get frustrated that I don't get some things right, because I'm just a football fan who is fortunate enough to have conversations and phone calls and get information from various sources, but ultimately I'm still a football fan. I started off this like you. But the Anthony situation, you can check every video we've done on Anthony back from June. We've always been quite well informed on the Anthony situation. Jong, haven't got a bloody clue. And it's very hard to predict what Manchester United are going to do when they're so unpredictable. Like, if you'd said to me we'd bid for Arnautovic, I'd have said you're having a laugh, wake up. But we did. And as soon as you do something like that, anything's possible, and it's so hard to predict. If you support Barcelona or you support Chelsea, it might be a bit all over the place, but you can sort of see what they're trying to do. With United, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to bid for, I don't know, Preston North End's goalkeeper. You just don't know. Chris says it's like buying a Domino's, tastes good but overpriced. And also, do you think we will get Anthony and when, says your boy. It's like spending $1,000 on a buffet for a wedding and only ended up with 4 expensive steaks, says Dance1211. It is. It's like a lot of things, but ultimately I do think we will sign Anthony because I think we have to. And I think that we'll have a very interesting 24 hours on Ronaldo where we find out one way or another if this Sporting Lisbon thing is actually true. And then I think we will find out very shortly about, you know, what's going to happen with other players. I mean, look, I'd say with De Jong, it can still happen, but United seem to want to shut it down. And I'm quite glad that it still keeps getting mentioned because it puts focus onto the club as to what a bunch of prats they've been this summer. So, yeah, I think it'll be very interesting how it works out. But I've thoroughly enjoyed the show tonight, and I hope you have as well. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner to do that. And don't forget, that's what I was going to say, don't forget tomorrow that Fofana for 75 million, why to only blame us then, says Eric. Mate, I'm not a Chelsea fan. Couldn't give a shit about what Chelsea are doing. I'm talking about Manchester United. This is my club that I've supported all my life, as have many of you. I don't give a shit what Chelsea are doing. Maybe Chelsea fans are moaning about Fofana. It's not my problem. Couldn't give a shit. So tomorrow is a bit of an up and down day. We've got the 10 o'clock show as normal. Then got the Europa League. Fuck knows who we're going to get in that. But then we've got the press conference with Ten Hag at 1:30. So it's a bit of an up, down, up day tomorrow. But we will have all that live for you. You can share the pain with me and watch the Europa League draw tomorrow at midday. Don't you go ducking it. We're in this together. Okay, right. I'm going to conclude the show there. I just want to ask one favour of you. Some of you will do it, some of you won't. But you've watched this show for an hour. I have a channel called the Mark Goldbridge channel where I don't talk about football. It's called Going for Goldbridge, which I'm thinking about turning into a podcast. There's a new episode up today, and it's basically me going in on cyclists, dogs, sunbed worshippers, and most important of all, people who moan about no spoilers. I really go in on them. So if you like that sort of thing, or you think you might like it, or you just want to try it, please, for me, click the link in the live chat at the top and just go and watch it and see what you think. Maybe you want to subscribe to that channel. Maybe you want to leave a comment, some feedback. But I'd really appreciate it because we do loads on the United Stand, and that sort of thing's my therapy. So, you know, it's nice if people watch it. That's what I'm saying. So please do give it a watch. I'll also, well, it's in the live chat pinned in there, or you can just type Going for Goldbridge on YouTube. I'd really be really grateful if you watched it. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll speak to you in a bit.